Alrighty, what's going on, everybody, and welcome back to Season 5, Episode 23 of Hit the Books, the podcast all about sports betting, the best bets you should be taking in everything surrounding sports. This week, we got a little recap here of the Super Bowl. The Seahawks taking down the Aces Patriots here, but we got to hear more from Ace on that. A little bit in the NHL here, some Olympic hockey review, as well as we gear towards that. NBA, we have the All-Star game and and skills competition happening here this weekend, as well as the MLB right around the corner here. Spring training happening now. World Baseball Classic, just a couple days away, or just a month away. And I think when you want to talk about some UFC, I believe, right, Ace?
Yeah, we've had some good UFC fights lately. Wouldn't mind diving into that a little bit.
Heck yeah, we'll definitely be talking about that. Let's introduce my co-host here with me, just Ace with me this week. But Ace, what do you got for us here coming off of the Super Bowl?
Yeah, tough Super Bowl loss. Anytime you get there, it's tough to see. I think it's like the 10th Patriots Super Bowl I've seen in my lifetime. So, seen my fair share of losses. I think we're 6-4 in my lifetime since we've been there. Brady leading us all the other ones, but young team there. I mean, just happy for them getting to that moment. A lot of people didn't even expect them to get to the playoffs this year, so they were much ahead of schedule. We'll dive into that game here shortly. Bunch of the other leagues starting up. We got the Olympics fully underway. I was just watching the luge before I jumped on here. It's an interesting one. But we got Team USA hockey starting tomorrow. When you guys listen to this, it'll be starting up then. Had the first few games today, so that was fun to see. The women's hockey team is crushing it. NBA got the All-Star game around the corner. We got the World Baseball Classic coming up, which is pretty cool. Team USA looking stacked and ready for a big run there. MLB starting in a month or two here. We got spring training. We got some March Madness coming up. Good time in the sports world right now. A lot going on. Get me through those Patriots woes. So looking forward to talking about it today.
Heck yeah, lots to go over this week here, but let's start with the Super Bowl here. For the second time in franchise history, the Seattle Seahawks are Super Bowl champions here, led by their defense and Super Bowl MVP running back Kenneth Walker. The Seahawks timed the New England Patriots 29-13 in Super Bowl 60. Heads won the coin toss. Like I said, Kenneth Walker, Super Bowl MVP, yellow and lime is the Gatorade color. And they even showed it on the broadcast before the end of the game. Ace, what are your thoughts here on the Super Bowl this year?
Yeah, I mean, it was an interesting game here. It kind of reminded me of the Patriots Rams Super Bowl, how that started off, ended up 10-3. No
For sure.
touchdowns in that first half. A lot of field goals coming off both feet, and Jason Myers more so, and some very good defensive football being played. We saw the Patriots standing toe to toe with the Seahawks. Their defense keeping them in it despite tough field position, despite some turnovers. No matter where it was, they were standing strong. Christian Gonzalez looked like the best player on the field, in my opinion. He was keeping the Patriots in it. He was picked just before JSN in the draft on our side. So from a Patriots perspective, I guess we made the right pick because people were worried about him going nuclear for 10, 12 catches, 100-plus yards, touchdowns, the galore. He ended up leaving the game in the second half, but he was completely neutralized in the first half. And then even when he came back later in the game, Gonzalez completely wiped him away. But Sam Darnold did the little things right. I mean, he didn't do too much. Obviously, the MVP going to Kenneth Walker, deservedly so. But the Patriots were getting pressure through to him. Milton Williams, the big free agency sign, got through the pocket multiple times. Darnold able to escape and get a quick throw out. He missed some big ones early. He had JSN on a long, almost touchdown. If he could have floated that one over the defense, he took some hits and some contact, but he was making good reads and he wasn't turning the ball over. That was the key to his victory. Kenneth Walker, meanwhile, they got that outside run going early and often. He was able to bounce out. It looked like he was running sideways sometimes, doing a lot of Le'Veon Bell patience, running behind the line of scrimmage, tiptoeing through, finding that gap. Some great blocks by the Seahawks to spring him, and he deserved that MVP. I mean, that Patriots run defense was absolutely dynamite throughout the whole year, but that was the only game-breaking offense that they had. They had the Barner TD. Shout out to Huff on hitting that first TV. He had a miracle run on that one. I mean, he's been hitting them all year long, but it took a while to even see that first touchdown. And that was kind of in a point of the game where the Patriots need to play a little bit more aggressive down in the red zone, down a decent amount of points. So kind of just opened up over the top when they were playing the run there. But Kenneth Walker, man, he's hitting free agency this year. He's going to get a big payday. Maybe someone like the Kansas City Chiefs make a run at him, as they haven't gotten what they wanted of Isaiah Pacheco or Edwards-Helaire, Hunt, or whoever it may be. But the Seahawks will have Charbonnet coming back too. I mean, I can only imagine what that run game would have looked like if they had him healthy as well. But the Patriots secondary did their thing, did what I expected. Patriots defense held their own, kept the Patriots in the game, even when their offense was lackluster. But the story of this game, in my opinion, It's the battle of the trenches. The way the Seattle defense was able to completely dominate the Patriots O-line. That first half was abysmal. Couldn't get the ball moving at all. Every time Drake May dropped back, there was pressure immediately in his face. Will Campbell, we later found out he was playing through an injury with a torn ligament in his knee. He said no excuses. Maybe he ends up being a guard later in his career, but he's still a rookie left tackle, you know. A lot of expectations on his shoulder, tough position to play. So we'll see how that bodes, especially not being healthy. It's a tough spot to be in, but this Seattle defense, man, it reminds me of the Legion of Boom. I believe they called them, what's their new nickname now? They are
The
the
12th or like, I heard a couple different little things. I heard like the 12th man shit, 12th person. And then I can't remember the other one. I know what
now
you're
let me
thinking
see
of.
the Seahawks defense nickname here. They kept bringing it up.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. I read it so many times.
The Legion of Boom. Oh, the Dark Side. The
The
Dark
dark side,
Side.
that's it.
Yeah. So the Dark Side really showed through. I mean, you know what's tough too? Besides that pass rush and the Patriots, they've built up their O-line from season over season, but still kind of weak. Two rookies starting. Collinsworth kept highlighting that all game. Wilson and Cam on the left side. Their big signing was Moses on the right side, an older veteran, I believe 12, 14-year veteran. Bradbury down the middle. So nothing too formidable in front of Drake May. I think he led the playoffs. It's a playoff record. Most sacks given up in a playoff run with
Wow.
21, I believe, and 6 of them coming in that game against the Seahawks. Every game before that, 5, 5, 5, and then 6. That's not great when you're getting your 23-year-old quarterback in his first playoff run hit that often. That's why we saw a lot of downturn from him, and plus that banged up shoulder coming in. But you got to give kudos to that defense, man. They were absolutely flying. Mike McDaniel had a great scheme for him too. They were bringing outside linebackers to contain the Drake May run. They were pressing on the outside, but when you have corners like Witherspoon, you have a Monterori in the secondary, that big time rookie. They had Reek Woolen, a bunch of other names. Julian Love had the interception. You can kind of play that man coverage. The Patriots, their receivers stepped up throughout the year. Kayshon Boutte, Matt Collins, Stephon Diggs, Kyle Williams, Pop Douglas, whoever it may be. But they don't have that true top-tier receiver. No A.J. Brown, Justin Jefferson to really game break. JSN on the other side. So it was clamped up coverage there, mixed with a lot of pressure coming at him. Couldn't get the run game going too much. I thought it looked decent. Would have liked to have seen more out of Ramondre Stevenson, but the trenches were owned on both sides by the Seattle Seahawks, springing big runs, getting through for plentiful sacks and causing pressure, speeding up Drake May and throwing him off his game. Even when he did have time in the second half, didn't look like himself. Seemed like he was always looking over his shoulder, and that defense was ball hawking. I saw the quote from Love on the sidelines afterwards saying, he's not just throwing it up there blindly like Stafford. He's looking for his guy, but we're going to get one. And he ended up getting one. That changed the game. And the Patriots are still in it at that point. I believe the game was 19-7 late in the fourth quarter. It kept feeling like the game was way out of reach. The Seahawks were dominating. But the way that the Patriots defense kept them in it, they were holding the 3 every time. That red zone defense, like we talked about coming into the week, did bode well. You can't discredit the Patriots defense. They held them in it, but if you can't put up any points, you're giving up field position. Even the offense giving up 7 points on that fumble or pick six, I guess, the way it came out, I guess it was deemed a pick six, but the sack that turned into a fumble, they ran all the way back. The defense scoring on you too. So those of you who hit Seahawks defensive special team touchdown, shout out to you. But that's a tough one to see as well, especially when you're trying to get back in the game.
Yeah.
But
so
good game overall.
Real quick, Ace. So like that whole game, if you're a Seahawks fan, I think, after, getting closer to halftime, you're like, oh, this is over. But if you're a Patriots fan, you're still in this, and you absolutely were still in it for a very, very long time. Nothing in that game happened till the fourth quarter, right? Nothing broke out. Nothing.
Yeah, nothing crazy. It was 19-7 with 8
Yeah.
minutes left. They kept
Right.
going 3-0. I believe Mackey was the one that sent us a slip. He's like, I just took Patriots to punt on the next drive, which was a great one.
So easy. I'm
Yeah,
like,
it was, and it was a good bet. I think he got like minus 120, minus 125 odds. But the way our offense is so stagnant, and the biggest thing to me, like I understand your line's getting dominated. You can't really do much when that happens. You're just kind of deflated. But I was looking for Josh McDaniels, assistant coach of the year, multiple Super Bowl winning assistant coach, offensive coordinator. Harold is one of the best offensive coordinators in the league, to dial something different up. Maybe it's a slip screen. Maybe you get some quicker plays out of that. It looked like everyone's running all these deep routes, and you don't even have the time in that pocket. Maybe you get Drake May's legs involved more. Get the running game going somehow, but he couldn't open it up. Playing super conservative a few times in the first half, they'd be 3rd and short, and they just go with a short run and basically concede the drive and end up punting. Some opportunities to take their chances, and they didn't. Not until late. Nice ball to Matt Collins to get us on the board, at least to make it a little bit more respectable. But yeah, I would have liked to have seen a little bit more out of Josh McDaniels. But like you said, never out of that game. Close dogfight throughout. Honestly, both defenses, two great units. Seahawks were primed for this spot, though. They built a great team around them and everywhere they can look. But I don't know. One good thing to take out of it, some great experience for my young Patriots, right? I was happy we got one playoff game. I was like, I don't know
Right.
what to expect. Like, we get one playoff game under our belt, we'll be back. And then we're all the way to the Super Bowl before our window's even open. Now you've won 3 playoff games. You've been to the Super Bowl. You know what this is like. First year with the head coach. I can go through the whole spiel of how new
Yeah.
this team is.
You're in a great spot.
Yeah, they're in a good spot. A young team with a young coach that's hungry. They have over 50 million in cap space.
Right.
Good
That's
draft picks,
huge.
and it's an attractive place to come play because people like playing for Vrabel. You have the quarterback now who come. You've seen guys like Stephon Diggs, Carlton Davis come in and talk about how good
Yeah.
it's been.
And there's money available.
Yeah, good culture all around. No big impending free agents. I think our big ones are Clavon Chison and Jalen Hawkins. One more shout out on the Patriots defensive side. Rookie Craig Woodson was all over the ball. I believe he had 10 tackles. One catch allowed. He swatted one out on Cooper Kupp, like right near the end zone. 4th round rookie, leading the Patriots in snaps this year. Just absolutely showed out in the Super Bowl there. Some TFLs as well. So he was all over it. But a lot of bright spots, but definitely deserved for the Seattle Seahawks. What a year. I mean, Shaheed didn't even do too much, but I thought he was a great pickup throughout right before the trade deadline. I mean, they were all eyes on winning the Super Bowl, and they kind of ran through the playoffs here. It's crazy to see.
Yeah, definitely lots of good stuff here out of the Super Bowl. Again, Seahawks taking down the Patriots there. But we will start gearing up for next year as we get into the draft here in May. And yeah, that's going to wrap up our NFL year.
Yeah, so quick, huh? I mean,
So fast.
feels like just yesterday we had the whole Cowboys-Eagles fiasco with
Yeah.
Dak and Carter spitting on each other and getting kicked out. Now we're already at the end of the season. I mean, that year
It's
flew
gone.
by, but that was such an interesting year compared to other ones, huh?
I agree. I totally agree.
One point.
Lots of, you're obviously we were hearing lots of names that we don't normally hear,
Yeah.
lots of teams that were in the spots that we'd like to put them. The Chiefs were nothing to be heard of, which was fun.
Mm.
Yeah, this year was fun.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of parity throughout the league. Kind of seemed like wide open for anybody. People discrediting the Patriots to having one of the lightest schedules in the league. Well, let's see next year. The New York Jets going to get as far as the Patriots did with their schedule, the Tennessee Titans. Still got to give them kudos there. But I was saying this the other day, a lot of people saw what Tom Brady did for a 20-year dynasty in New England. He took pay cuts to have a good team around him. We didn't see Joe Burrow, Lamar Jackson, or Patrick Mahomes even in the playoffs this year. We saw Josh Allen with a light playoff run. We saw Jalen Hurts with a light playoff run. These big-time quarterbacks are taking a lot of the contracts away from other guys on their team. Tom Brady, he would take these pay cuts so they could pay people around them. Not only are they paying their superstar quarterback, they're paying one other guy a bunch of money too, like Jamar Chase and T. Higgins. Chris Jones taking a lot of money over there in Kansas City. You need to build good teams around them. I mean, the two teams we saw get to the Super Bowl are good teams. The Broncos and the AFC Championship, good team. The defense first. You have the pieces all around on offense. You have a stellar head coach. I think a lot of these teams, too, that were in that Final Four, good head coaches. I mean, on one side, you had McVay, who's won a Super Bowl. You had Sean Payton, who's won a Super Bowl. And then you have the two new guys in New England and Seattle that are nice faces to see on the scene. It's tough to find those. Maybe you guys will get yours in Pittsburgh soon and kind of get that revamp and a rebuild of the culture. I think what you have there now is just kind of a bridge. But there's a lot of new faces that are coming about, and I think that team mentality, building a full team around them, and then you get your quarterback. Because Seattle and New England 2 years ago, not where they wanted to be.
No, right. You're exactly right.
They rebuilt these teams perfectly, and now you're seeing these teams with the superstar QBs who you expect to be there every year. Now they have nobody around them. So I'm eager to see how those teams rebound here and rebuild coming in the next season because I expect a lot of them to get back. The one that was the biggest surprise to me was the Baltimore Ravens. Strange year.
Yeah.
That whole AFC North, strange year. But I expect Burrow, Allen, Mahomes, Jackson, those guys have to get a look to get back in there. But a lot of good names starting to pop up at the quarterback position because now Bo Nix, Drake May, Justin Herbert, Caleb Williams. I mean, there's a lot of young faces coming about. So a lot more competition, a lot of parity in the league. So excited for the next year.
Yeah, definitely. Lots to look forward to for next season. We'll definitely be popping in and out of the NFL here throughout the offseason, so make sure to stay tuned for that. Jumping over to the NHL here quickly, our power rankings for the last week of the NHL here. Number 5, the Carolina Hurricanes. Number 4, the Minnesota Wild. Number 3, the Dallas Stars. Number 2, the Colorado Avalanche. And number 1, the Tampa Bay Lightning. pretty basic list of what we've had recently. Any thoughts on that, Ace, before we get into some Olympic
Yeah, I
hockey?
mean, one here, Matthew's arguing for the Avalanche to be in that one spot still. I mean, you definitely could with the roster that they have and the year that they've had to date. Their last 10 before this break wasn't as strong, but I mean, that Tampa Bay Lightning team, man, they've been absolutely fire. Before the years, or earlier in the year when it started, people were calling for John Cooper's head, which is absolutely insane with all that he's brought to Tampa Bay. He's the Team Canada coach. I mean, that team was a dynasty. They got their wheels going, and now Andre Vasilevsky's looking like the best goalie in the NHL. Shame we don't get to see him in the Olympics here. But if he's like 18-0-2 in his last 20 games, he hasn't lost since the middle of December. That's insane to me. They have a lot of great guys on the team. They just got Victor Hedman back. Darren Radish is proving himself to be a strong player on the point. They got Moser there too. They rebuilt this team well while keeping their superstars. I know Braden Point's on the IR and they're keeping him out, but you still have a lot of pieces alongside Kucherov. You have Jake Gensel, one of the best American players in
Yeah.
the world. Guys like that they brought back last year at the deadline from Seattle, and some of their depth there, Sorelli, Hagel. I mean, that team's just loaded throughout. I love this Lightning team. They could definitely go on to make a push for the Cup, especially in a wide open East. The Hurricanes, they've been great. Look at Brandon Bussey jumping on the scene and stealing that goaltending position. You know where he was last year? On my Providence Bruins here, and we decided to keep Corpusalo as our backup. Release Bussy, and now he's going dynamite for the Hurricanes. Tough to see, but I guess they didn't want another competition with Swayman, let him own his net. But when you see success like that, it's tough to see a young guy leave throughout the door. The
Right.
Avalanche, I think they make another big move here. They missed out on the breadman, Artemi Panarin, going to the Kings, but I think that was the no trade clause that he waived to stay with them or to go to
Right.
that team.
He was,
Um,
yeah, it was the only team he was willing to go to or whatever.
Yeah, I
If
guess
that's
he's
the
a
truth, who knows?
big market guy. I mean, he played in Columbus, probably hated that. So he's like, all right, I'm gonna go play for New York and then
I
LA.
was,
I
I was
mean,
going to say, he went from higher taxes to even higher taxes.
yeah, usually everybody else is like, I want my most money, but that guy just wants to live in the big cities, I guess, which I can understand. I think there's some other big moves that are going to come after this Olympics here. What's nice is coming to Olympic play, we got the two Kachucks healthy, two of the best players in the league. Their team's still in the hunt. We had that Buffalo Sabres team. We all left them off our list in our top five, but they were one of the hottest teams in the NHL leading up to that point. We noted this last week. They have their eyes set on a Stanley Cup run, which they haven't seen in a while in Buffalo. Some other teams that I think will make some moves. I think the Detroit Red Wings are in a spot where they should be able to make a play. My Bruins are right there in the mix too, eager to see if they hold on or sell some pieces because they aren't a retool, but they've been having a very good season. The Islanders playing good hockey. Matthew Schaefer and Ilya Sorokin breathing life back into them. I mean, the New York Rangers dumpster fire. Shout out to you guys in Pittsburgh. Kind of like my Bruins. We're just kicking it
Coming
still.
along.
Yeah, I mean, you got a couple of young pieces. We
Yeah.
embraced our rebuild. I think a lot more than you. You guys in Pittsburgh just hate rebuilding for some reason, but I
Yeah.
think it's different for Penguins hockey than it is for Steelers football.
Yes, right. Correct.
I
I'd
mean,
agree.
across the
Just like
mountain.
it's so piecemealed. Like we bring in a couple good pieces here, and then we bring in a couple shit pieces, and then a couple good pieces, and then a couple shit pieces. Like, Chinnikov, great move, but like go back to last year when we got
You
what's
Riley
his name?
Smith.
Yeah, and what's his name on D, and then we shipped him back off, and because he was junk.
Yeah,
Or no, not on D, on offense, on the winger. Did we send him? We got him from Nashville or Vancouver. I can't remember, or sent him to Nashville or Vancouver.
I'm not too sure. It might have been in this the deal for Seelovs potentially to get the goaltender back. I know you guys also
Something
brought
like
in
that.
my guy Matt Grizzlick. I think you brought in Parker Wotherspoon, a couple of ex-Bruins defensemen.
Yeah.
You brought in Justin Brazo this year, who's like a cheap guy, but he does his job. He gets it done. I like the Kindle. They're getting some young guys in like Kindle too. So it's nice to mix that youth with the veteran presence. I still think they're lacking on the back end in the net for Pittsburgh, but they could still
For
find
sure.
themselves in a playoff push there. But I think the West is the dominant conference in hockey. I mean, the Vegas Golden Knights, we know how great they are. They'll probably make another move. Colorado will make another move. Edmonton and McDavid, you can never count them out. Draisaitl too. They got their eyes on a cup while he's still under contract there. The Kings, they're going to make a push to get back in the playoffs. The excitement of the San Jose Sharks that Matt
Yeah.
Celebrini brings, and he's got them pushing for a playoff spot. The Ducks kind of faded a little bit, but they're right there. The surprise to me is the Winnipeg Jets, one of the top teams in the league at the bottom of the standings. So we have a lot coming. The Wild, I think that's a very good team too that brought in Quinn Hughes. Dallas Stars, obviously, you guys know how I feel on them. We've been talking them up for the last 2 years, but I think it's going to be an interesting finish once we get past here and see that trade deadline approach and see who makes some big moves and who holds on to these playoff spots because it's so tight on each side.
Yeah, totally agree. Going to be an interesting couple last 2 months here of the season as we gear up for the playoffs. So Definitely stuff to look forward to. But first, we have some Olympic hockey here. The 2026 Olympic men's hockey tournament is finally here. Teams representing 12 countries, with most of the countries featuring NHL players for the first time since the 2014 games in Sochi. Can Team USA win the gold medal for the first time since 1980, or will the 2026 games be the 10th golden victory for Canada? And which of the other nations are most likely to earn a spot on the medal stand? Here's how the nations line up for the preliminary round robin here. In Group A, we have Canada, Switzerland, Czechoslovakia, and France. In Group B, we have Finland, Sweden, Slovakia. Oh, Czech and Slovakia are different. Interesting. Slovakia, and then Italy. And then Group C, United States, Germany, Latvia, and Denmark. Ace, what are your thoughts here? I have the odds up here for outright winner, silver, gold, or bronze, but what are your thoughts here before we jump into those?
Yeah, I know we got some games that took place today with the Finland and Slovakia game. Slovakia getting a nice little upset over Finland. We had Sweden taking down the home country, Italy, who stuck in the game. They were getting outshot 40-9 halfway through the game in the second period. It was a 3-2 hockey game. Halfway through the third period, their starting goalie, who was going absolutely nuts, got hurt. I think he had stopped 46 of 49 shots. The game ended up 5-2. But that's the most competitive bracket, in my opinion. I think the USA and Canada kind of run the table in their own brackets there. But that one's a little bit more wide open. Sweden struggling a little bit with Italy is interesting because Sweden's my number 3 pick here to get bronze. You know, Sweden and Finland love to play in these bronze medal games. But Slovakia could push Finland out of a spot here. I don't think Italy makes any noise. But I'm eager to see how Slovakia matches up against Sweden. I'm eager to see how Finland, how they rebound. They need to steal a win now against Sweden to keep it in pace. But the Americans got a nice bracket on our side. Nobody I'm really scared of. Yeah, they have Germany with Draisaitl, Jimmy Stutzel. Loves taking flops there, and a couple other good guys on that team. And they got the Latvia team who beat Canada in the World Juniors a couple of years ago, which is their claim to fame, and Zemgus Girgensons, who loves getting the votes for the Latvians for the NHL All-Star game. But they don't have much of a challenge there. And then meanwhile, Canada, they should run the table too. The Czechs, however you want to say it, Czechia, Czech Republic, Czechoslovakia, I don't know.
Czechia or whatever.
Yeah, Czechia. That team could be a little interesting too. I think them and Slovakia, the two teams you got to watch out for. They have some superstars in that Czechia team. They have David Pastrnak and Martin H is leading the way. Those are two superstar players with some talent around them too. So you can't take them too lightly. We know that Canada sometimes slips up in these early preliminary rounds. They end up getting where they need to be, but they sometimes drop these weird games. I do expect Canada to run the table there, and I expect America to run the table on their end. Sweden, I think they could drop one, whether it be Slovakia. That could be the dark horse of the tournament, whether it be Finland getting back into the mix. But as we go further down the list, I'm liking a best on best here. I'm thinking we see America and Canada at the end. That's what it's shaping up to be. Sweden could spoil that party. They're so good that they have Philip Forsberg as their scratch in their offensive lineup. I mean, that team's got superstars all over it. Willie Nylander, Gustafsson. They have the defense with Carlson and Hedman, Dahlin. There's so many names you can name off that Sweden team. I think they're going to be right there in that mix. But I've got America versus Canada in the gold medal game. I'm going to take the homer pick here. I think our boys got it here. We saw how hyped up that Four Nations tournament was. I think it's going to be even more here. I know you can't fight. The rules are a bit different here. There's different standings too. You get different points for certain wins and whatnot. So it's going to be interesting how it plays out. But I think we're going to see best on best when it gets there.
Yeah, I can't argue with that here. The odds saying the same exact thing here. For the outright winner, Canada leading the pack here at plus 100, USA at plus 190, Sweden in third at plus 700, Finland at plus 1500, and Czechia at plus 2500. Do you see any value in any of those?
Yeah, I think the Sweden value is definitely there. I know that it's America and Canada, but that Sweden team, they're that one that's same amount of skill caliber as America and Canada. You're getting some decent value there. America and Canada, I mean, if you take both, if you shop around that plus 100, you can get a little bit higher, and odds are at least one of them probably wins it. You'll be making some coin. But if you can look at some other ones, maybe early on, some upsets early on, I think that Czechia team, the Slovakia team, like I said, they weren't even listed on your odds table there. So I think that's not for long shot bets to win it all, but to win some games and continue to move on. I think those are two teams I'm looking at. A lot of people interested in Germany too. When you have Leon Draisaitl out there with Tim Stutzel, I mean, there's some other good players on that team too. That's interesting. But I think besides the big dogs, Finland, like now you're going to get some good value on them. I think they're going to play hungry after losing that game in Slovakia, but they didn't look too good in the Four Nations tournament either. I think they're really missing Barkov from the Florida Panthers. He was their captain of their team, so they had to go in a
Mhm.
different direction. They gave their
Yeah.
seat to Mikael Granlund, who's a journeyman throughout his career. He was a good player on the first line for the Anaheim Ducks in their first power play, but it's not who they're used to having lead the pack. Um, yeah, I'm sticking with the big dogs here in the men's hockey. I mean, it's got to be America Canada at the end of the day. That's what the world needs.
Yeah, Sweden plus 350 to win the bronze. Finland at plus 575. I kind of like one of those too.
Yeah, Sweden at plus 350. I win the bronze. I love actually. I mean,
Yeah.
every year it seems like it's Sweden Finland in a European classic for that bronze medal game trying to get on stage. But you got to be wary of them though. We saw in the Four Nations tournament. I think Sweden might have beat or one of either Sweden or Finland beat the Canada team before they got to the finals there. They can hang right with them. If you go through that Sweden lineup, it's all stars throughout the whole lineup. So I know they're a little bit softer and they're not as favorited, but you got to think they might be able to pull an upset at some point, but I like them to win the bronze medal here. I'm going to go USA gold, Canada silver, Sweden bronze, and I'm going to go with the dark horse for the fourth spot. I don't know if it's going to be Czechia. I think it will be. I'll go with Czechia in the fourth spot. If they get to that game, they could pull an upset there. David Pastrnak and co. I wouldn't count them out.
Nice. Yeah. They got a lot of more stuff on here than when I looked this morning. Team to advance to the final, Canada minus 220, USA at minus 140, Sweden at plus 200.
Can you have it to get out of your bracket?
Yes, I have the groups.
Slovakia and Czechia. I think those are two teams that can advance in alongside
Slovakia
the
Group B winner is a plus 400.
The winner, though, I don't know if they beat Sweden for their group.
Right. And Czechia is plus 650 in Group A. They're with Canada at minus 550 to win the group.
Yeah, I think the three top dogs are locked to get in, but
Yeah,
the next ones, game by game basis, you can find some upset value, I'm telling you.
for sure. For sure. Definitely lots to look forward to. Olympic hockey just starting here. So definitely got to keep an eye on that game starting at like 6:10 a.m., I believe. Yeah, 6:10, 10:40, 3:10, 3:10, 6:10, 6:10.
Tomorrow's a fun one.
3:10.
Yeah, tomorrow's a fun one.
Yeah.
Hopefully the women can bring home a gold for us, too. I mean, they've been dominating.
Dude, they're kicking butt.
Everybody they're playing, they're just putting them right away. Hillary Knight and co. I mean, yeah.
They're minus 325 to win it all.
Yeah, I think they beat Canada, 5-1 the other day?
Yeah.
Yeah, crazy to see. I mean, they haven't had a real challenge yet, but imagine you get USA men's and women's golds coming out of Italy. That'd be awesome.
Alrighty, let's jump over to the NBA here, our power rankings here quickly before we get into the All-Star game here this weekend. Coming in number 5, the Cleveland Cavaliers. At number 4, the San Antonio Spurs. Number 3, the Boston Celtics. Number 2, the Thunder. Number 1, the Detroit Pistons. Ace, what are you thinking about this? Your Celtics on this list. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, Mackey's going to be mad that we don't have the Knicks in this list, but they're edging them out right now by a game heading into the All-Star break. I think we have another game tonight, so that'll be a telling sign too. But the Celtics made a good move here. Jason Tatum's playing 5-on-5 scrimmages, practicing with the G League team. So you get him back. That's a boost too. But that team's been playing great basketball under Joe Mazzulla. I mean, look at the way that Jaylen Brown and Peyton Pritchard just stepped up alongside Derek White. Some of the other peaches, Bud and Vucevic too. But some of the other teams I want to talk about on this list, the Cleveland Cavaliers went out and got James Harden because they want to make a push this year to really make a statement and win the East. I think that was a great addition. I know they had to give up a strong piece, young piece in Darius Garland, but if you're looking to win right now with the roster they got, James Harden's going to help you in the playoff time. On the Western side, I mean, fully healthy Wembanyama, De'Aaron Fox, Castleton, that Spurs team is something to be worried about if you're the top dogs on the West. The Thunder slipping up here a little bit. They're still the best team in the league, in my opinion. I know they're not in our one spot right now, but they've had some injuries. So once they get fully healthy, I think they'll get back to where they need to be. The Pistons having a magical year up in that one spot. I do think they get beat by the Knicks, Celtics, or Cavaliers. I don't think that they're going to be a lock to even reach the Eastern Conference Finals. I project a round 2 loss for them. The Rockets are a very strong team. We know how good they can be with their young guys. I like Sengun. I like Kevin Durant too. Kevin Durant's still an absolute baller. Some of these teams just on the outside looking in, you got to look at the Lakers there. I think they have a lot of injury woes. Never fully healthy. Luka sitting games out, LeBron sitting games out, yada yada. But when you have Luka and LeBron come playoff time, they're going to be a force to be reckoned with. Yeah, there's a lot going on in this league. I think some of the recent moves we saw are going to be impactful as well. Out west, yeah, maybe the Warriors can make a little push if Curry can play. That'd be fun to see. I want to see him in the playoffs come that time. And Edwards, all the fights we had the other day, that was pretty funny in the NBA too. Everybody's dropping the mitts. Stort from Detroit, he's on the bench and he comes off the bench just to fight people. So it's pretty interesting on that side. But some good stuff going on ahead of the All-Star break.
Heck yeah, All-Star break here this weekend. The 75th NBA All-Star Game is almost here, and NBA fans are buzzing about the debut of the new U.S. versus World format. This year's NBA All-Star Weekend runs from February 13th to the 15th, with the main event tipping off at 5 p.m. Eastern on Sunday, February 15th, from the Intuit Dome in Inglewood, California, home of the Clippers. Three teams here: USA Stars, USA Stripes, and Team World. The three teams, the two like I said, there's the three teams that will be doing a round-robin mini tournament, 12-minute games with the fourth championship game for the top two teams. That happening again on Sunday, starting at 5 p.m. And for the skills competition, we have that happening on Saturday here, delivering the most entertaining night of the weekend as the league's biggest stars take on the court in a relaxed fan-first atmosphere. Showcase blends creativity, skill, and athleticism, highlighted by staple events like the Kia Shooting Stars, the State Farm three-point contest, and the always anticipated AT&T Slam Dunk contest. Ace, what are your thoughts here on the All-Star Game this weekend happening? New format, new stuff, but same old skills competition. What do you think?
Yeah, I like that they're trying to test new ways to bring about some more interaction. They saw how well the four nations worked off in the NHL, producing these countries against each other. So they're trying to play off that a little bit with the world versus the two USA. I don't like that there's two USA squads and
Yeah,
doing
it's
a
weird.
round robin. I would just like USA versus the world. I think that would be a much better game. The bragging rights would be on the line more because you're splitting up this. You're watering down the USA talent essentially. So if you win, can you even say the world is better than USA? I don't know, but maybe we'll see some harder. Effort out of these guys. Someone like Victor Wembanyama always says he's going to try in these games. Maybe we'll push other guys to do it too. But there's a lot of all-world talent going around. No Steph Curry in this weekend. It's tough to see. I
Yeah.
see he just opted out. They replaced with Brandon Ingram. But I think there's a lot of good players in this one. On the world side, you got Luka, you got Wemby, you got Jokic. I believe Shea as well. There's a lot of good players over there. From the Americans, I believe you're going to see Durant will be there. Jaylen Brown, that's a big one for my guy right there. So there's a lot of young guys that are jumping into this game too. Cade Cunningham, he'll be there, So hopefully it's a bit more entertaining. I just want to see more effort because it was getting pretty watered down the last few years, and I was hoping it didn't go down a path like the NFL's Pro Bowl did. So hopefully this fixes it. But skills competition, I love. I like watching this, and I'm happy Mac McClung is not in the NBA dunk contest. He's not even an NBA player; he's a G leaguer. He'd come up just for that contest. So getting new faces there will be awesome to see a new winner. 3-point contest. If Curry's not in the All-Star game, he won't be in that. So we'll see some different people for me to back
that'd
there.
be fun.
No Damian Lillard, obviously, he's hurt too. He used to be a mainstay in that event, so that'd be cool to see. But yeah, I like watching these highlights to get some good stuff out of it. But we'll see how the effort does, and that'll see how they move forward with it.
Heck yeah. Lots to look forward to as the NBA and the NHL are about the same pace here. Playoffs happening in just a couple months here, so lots to look forward to as we gear towards those playoffs. Alrighty, over to the MLB here. That season quickly ramping up here. Spring training happening now. Power rankings here as we get into spring training. Coming in at number 5, the Boston Red Sox. Number 4, the Toronto Blue Jays. Number 3, the Seattle Mariners. Number 2, the Chicago Cubs. And number 1, the Los Angeles Dodgers. Dodgers sitting at the top of that list yet again. But Ace, what do you think about the power rankings here this week?
I mean, it's the Los Angeles Dodgers world, and we're all living in it. They got Kyle Tucker now, too, to add to that team. Their staff is absolutely dynamite. Some teams that missed the cut, though, the Detroit Tigers. I mean, they were just really good last year. They had the reigning Cy Young back-to-back with Tariq Skubal. They just added Framber Valdez, who is an impact arm. He was the ace for the Houston Astros not too long ago. And they just brought back old face Justin Verlander. Him and Keith Upton will be up there in Detroit. So I know he's kind of past his prime, but cool to see him at the tail end of that rotation. They have some other good guys. Jackson Jobe, Reese Olson, some young faces there. The Chicago Cubs will be getting back Justin Steele this year. That's a big bump to their rotation. Team that's in your bracket there, Jesse, the Pittsburgh Pirates competing with the Chicago Cubs. They lost Kyle Tucker, but they add back Justin Steele. They already had Shota Imanaga, Matthew Boyd, a couple other star players on that team, so they'll be strong right in that mix. Hopefully some of their young talent continues to pick up, like Shaw, Bush. They have a lot of good young guys there. In a lot of those AL East teams making the power rankings, you could argue for the Yankees. I think a big team that's going to have a big bounce back this year is the Baltimore Orioles. They fell flat on their face last year. They were injured. Their pitching staff wasn't ready to go. Just a lot of bad things happened. But that team is very good on paper, a lot of young skill. And I think that AL East is going to be a slaughterhouse again. The Blue Jays just made the World Series. Very strong team. The Red Sox added even more. You have Garrett Crochet with Ranger Suarez now, who is one of the top pitchers on the Phillies. You added Sonny Gray behind him. Johan Oviedo from your Pirates, and they still have Brian Bayo. They have some top prospects like Peyton Tolley and Connolly Early who can pitch. One of the top closers in the league in Chapman. Then on the lineup, they added in Contreras, an impact first base bat who's going to be a power hitting righty at Fenway Park. You can never get enough of those. They made a nice trade to grab Durbin as well. So that Red Sox team will be good. But the Orioles bounce back. The Yankees stay solid, even though if you look at the lineup, it's a little bit lighter lineup for the Yankees compared to the rest of the division. And I think the Blue Jays stay strong too. There's going to be some other good teams coming out here. I think the West still is strong. I think the Padres are a team you got to worry about. They're always hanging around. So it's going to be interesting to see as that unfolds. The Phillies are very strong. They brought back almost everybody. The Mets are very great too. I think Lindor got an injury, so that's tough to see. But they added around him. They got Bo Bichette. They got Lewis Robert Jr. They added some pitching. Oh, what about Edwin Diaz going to the Dodgers too? I didn't even mention that.
Yeah,
that team just loaded up way too much. But I like watching Dodgers. I don't mind a front runner sometimes. Some fun baseball to watch at least. But there's no MLB TV, so that's a whole nother thing.
That's a whole mess.
Yeah, that's going to be tough to see. But I think it's going to be good. We got the World Baseball Classic before that, but some injuries came about today that were tough to see. Tough. One of them is to budding superstar Corbin Carroll out of Arizona. Broke his hand, so he's going to miss the World Baseball Classic. Now his opening day is in jeopardy too. I believe Jackson Holiday also broke his hand today, so I don't know what's going around there in the MLB world. But I saw a video yesterday of Corbin Carroll training, getting ready for the World Baseball Classic. Now he's out for a while, so led the league in triples the last 2 years. One of the most dynamite players, perennial All-Star, 24 years old. He's going to be one of the best in the league. He already is. So sad to see in America. We'll miss him. But I'm looking forward to the World Baseball Classic, especially after we lost the last one to Ohtani in Japan.
Heck yeah, the 2026 World Baseball Classic is set to be the 6th edition of the premier international baseball tournament, featuring 20 national teams competing from March 5th to March 17th. Defending champion Japan will look to repeat their 2023 success, while powerhouses like the USA, Dominican Republic, and Puerto Rico aim to dethrone them. The tournament kicks off with pool play in 4 global venues, followed by knockout rounds in Houston and Miami, accumulated in the championship at Lone Depot Park in Miami here. Maybe we'll wait till next week to go over odds, but do you have anything else on the World Baseball Classic case?
No, I'm hoping I can get down there for him. I was down at Lone Depot Park in Miami at the end of the season there, I think in September, when I saw the Mets get knocked out by the Marlins for the playoff race. But up in the outfield, they had the big board of all the games that were coming there. So that'd be awesome to get down there and see that. The Dominican Republic lineup, man, that thing is a powerhouse. One team to not overlook. But I think USA and Japan are going to be right there. I don't know if Japan repeats their success. One big thing to note is that Ohtani is not pitching in this tournament. They're holding him out for the regular season for the Dodgers. I think he's thinking, I already won this. Like, I showed you I can beat America myself, so I'm going to take a back seat and make sure I'm fully healthy for the start of the season. But he will be DHing, so that's still fun to see. But I think America, the lineup they put together, man, is absolutely nails. They have pitching galore. They have Skeens and Screwball and some studs behind them. Their hitting is deep. They're ready to go. But that Dominican lineup is nasty. I think they might have the best lineup in the league.
Yeah, I agree. Already lots of good stuff here as we get through spring training and the World Baseball Classic here before opening day here in just over a month, or just over a month and a half away. So lots to look forward to there. Ace, what do you got in the UFC? The UFC is the last thing on our list. What do you got?
Yeah, I mean, it started well this year. The big thing is it's been on Paramount Plus. So they went from ESPN, they're on Paramount Plus, so it's a whole different thing. They started off the year with a nice card too. We got Justin Gaethje versus Paddy Pimblett for the interim lightweight belt, as Ilya Topuria is currently vacating that for being out of the sport, legal issues, health issues. He's going to face the winners as they move on. I think he's going to end up fighting at the White House. I don't know if you heard, but they have the White House card coming. It was supposed to be the 4th of July, but they couldn't get that to work. So the end of June, that will be coming. But Justin Gaethje defeated Paddy the Baddy Pimblett. The atmosphere was absolutely dynamite for that. I believe it was in Vegas. Went all 5 rounds, and it was a complete fireworks show, just going back and forth. Looked like both had chances to win, but Gaethje came out on top in a unanimous decision. Before that, America's fan favorite, Sean O'Malley, he got back in the win column. He had some tough losses against Merab Dvalishvili, who was the belt holder before he lost to Peter Yan. So his win there sets him back up for success. He came out to his infamous superstar walkout intro. I love those UFC walkout intros. Paddy's was really good with heads will roll too. He had the whole place going crazy for it. But O'Malley back in the mix is fun to see. I think it's good for the sport. Some good women fights too. I think we're gonna get Kayla Harrison this year against Nunes. So that'll be good. Volkanovski and Lopez. Alexander Volkanovski. A lot of people love him. He ended up winning again against Diego Lopez in the featherweight for the featherweight title. So he retained his belt. He'll get a nice shot there. Some of my Brazilian fighting nerds, Mauricio Rufy, Gene Silva, the up and coming group there, has been getting some wins. So that's awesome to see. But we do have some good fights coming up. We got Sean Strickland fighting in a few weeks, a couple fight nights coming up. But eventually we got Max Holloway versus Charles Oliveira too for the BMF belt. That's going to be an awesome fight. I think that's just under a month away, March 7th. So I have my eyes set on that one. Some more fighting nerds on that one, back to back on the card. Moicano and Barallo will be fighting. So, some good undercard events too. But we got to get through our fight nights first, and then, like I said, later in the year we'll get some strong ones. We'll hopefully see Tapere. We'll see some more belts being challenged for him. We'll see that UFC White House guard, which Donald Trump, Joe Rogan, Dana White, they're all dialed up for. So we'll see some big names there. Maybe a Conor McGregor sighting. I don't know. I've heard rumors of that, but I'll believe it when I see it. So we'll keep.
I bet they're going to pull out all the stops. So I think that's going to be a good one. That'll be exciting.
Yeah, and the atmosphere will be absolutely dynamite. They said walking out of the White House and you'll have full view of it. They don't want to obstruct it, but then you have a big stanchion across the street. So that'll be cool.
Alrighty, lots of good stuff here this week. The Super Bowl wrapping up, our whole NFL season wrapping up, NHL gearing up for the Olympics here, NBA gearing up for the All-Star game, MLB gearing up for the season. Anything else to add before we get out of here, Ace?
No, I think it should be a good one. Farewell to another NFL season gone too soon, but I am happy to move on to some other sports. We got some warmer weather. I mean, the Groundhogs don't think so. We got that around the corner. The Olympics, we'll cherish that for now. Both our teams in the NHL playoff push. We got some March Madness for Huff and Mackey to carry us with some picks and some day basketball. And baseball starting up too. A lot of American spirit going around here. World Baseball Classic, Olympics. So hopefully the good guys can get some wins for us.
Heck yeah. Lots of good stuff. See you guys next week.